You're watching Capital City Sunday.
With the Democratic National Convention coming to a close, focus now shifts back to the November presidential election with just 64 days left on the campaign trail. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin was among those speaking on behalf of Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The Democratic incumbent is running for her third term in the Senate. Senator Baldwin joined Capital City Sunday host Darrielle in a one-on-one interview to discuss her re-election campaign.
Here with me now is Senator Tammy Baldwin, the Democratic incumbent running for U.S. Senate. Senator Baldwin, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted.
Senator Baldwin, you won by a 5% margin in 2012, a 12% margin in 2018. Recent polling shows you are leading your Republican challenger, Eric Hovde, by 7 percentage points. How do you feel your campaign draws a contrast from your opponent?
Well, my opponent and I could not be more different. Let's start from the fact that he owns a $3 billion bank in California, SunWest Bank. He has a $7 million home in Laguna Beach, and he's been named among the more influential residents of Orange County 3 years in a row. Wisconsin does not have an Orange County. We have a Green County, we have a Brown County, we don't have an Orange County. But then on the issues, Eric Hovde applauded when Roe v. Wade was overturned in the Dobbs decision. And he now owns the chaos that has ensued, where women's rights are dependent upon their zip code or the state of residence. I am the lead author of the Women's Health Protection Act, which would codify Roe at the federal level and have and also tell the states you can't pass laws at the state level like Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban or Texas's 6-week ban. You can't pass laws at the state level that interfere with the rights and freedoms of Roe v. Wade. On the Affordable Care Act, I helped write the Affordable Care Act. I included the provision that allows young people to stay on their parents' health insurance till they turn 26. Eric Hovde wants to overturn the Affordable Care Act, ripping millions of people from their insurance. And he even criticized my amendment that allows the young people to stay on till age 26, saying that young people need to just grow up. It's just a stark contrast. On Social Security, Eric Hovde has supported a plan that would raise the minimum or raise the retirement age. He supports a plan that would cut back on Medicare and Social Security, not even understanding that these are earned benefits that people pay into over a lifetime of work. I was raised by my grandparents, and so I saw up close the incredible importance of programs like Medicare and Social Security, and I am going to fight to make sure they are solvent for generations to come.
Senator Baldwin, Republicans need to flip just 1 or 2 seats to regain control of the Senate in November. Are you concerned about whether Democrats can maintain their majority and the difficult role that may be ahead for you ultimately if you guys do not?
Well, it is clear nationally that obviously the Senate is very closely divided. At this point in time, 51 Democrats to 49 Republicans. We have to win every swing seat that's up this year, and that includes Wisconsin. I want to just remind people, despite accompanying the excitement, enthusiasm that has come out of the Democratic National Convention, we still are the battleground state in the country. Wisconsin may well decide who is the next president. We may well decide which party does control the United States Senate. And we have some exciting House races going on in the state of Wisconsin. We could contribute to flipping the House back to Democratic control. So there's a lot that's happening in our state. No matter what the polling gap is right now, we need to be ready to sprint through the finish line on November 5th, because it's going to take every vote. And in the last presidential election, the race was decided by basically 2 people per precinct, 2 voters per precinct across our state. We have to make sure everyone participates, everyone's voices are heard, and everyone's votes are counted.
You spoke about Social Security, reproductive access. On the issue of immigration, during the Democratic National Convention, Democrats spoke about the bipartisan foreign aid bill that was introduced earlier this year to address border security. Democrats argue Republicans killed that bill. Republicans argue Democrats were not willing to make a compromise. Is there a path forward for both parties on the issue of immigration?
The path forward is the bipartisan border security bill that you just referred to. When we negotiated that measure with very conservative Republican support, at the end of that negotiation, we had a bill that would add Border Patrol agents to our southern border. It was endorsed by the Border Patrol Union. We had a bill that would add significant new technology to the southern border at the ports of entry to be able to screen more of the vehicles that come through and clamp down on the illegal fentanyl that is coming through our ports of entry on the southern border. It also had major reforms to the asylum process so that asylum cases would be heard in a matter of weeks or months, not in a matter of years. And it was Donald Trump and fellows like Eric Hovde, who called for the defeat of that bill after we had ample support for it, and they followed suit. Donald Trump is the person responsible for our not currently having a strong border measure in place.
Senator Baldwin, you are set to debate Eric Hovde on October 18th. That debate will be hosted by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. Hovde has criticized you for choosing not to participate in 2 additional debates proposed this year. Why have you decided not to participate in more debates as you have in previous elections?
You know, my job as a senator and my job as a candidate for re-election is to travel the state of Wisconsin, to meet voters and constituents where they are. I listen. I hear their concerns, and I get to work to address them. And I will continue to conduct both my official duties as well as my campaign by doing just that, getting out to the people and making sure that their voices are heard. I'm really pleased to accept the broadcasters debate. It will be a statewide audience who will be able to watch it live on television, versus others that are only available to people in communities. I'm working those communities every day, and I'm going to continue to conduct my campaign in that manner.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate. Senator Baldwin, thank you so much for your time.
I am so delighted to join you. Thanks again for having me.